Watch Dogs Legion is built around a sole idea. There is no protagonist, or rather, everyone can be a protagonist. Lacking any sort of main character, the player is given the tools and freedom to play as anyone at any time. And whilst this is a neat idea, the contrasting positives and negatives epitomise Legion as a title. With the feature Play as Anyone that Ubisoft have introduced, players start off with a chosen character. If they want, they could play as this character for eternity, but at any moment you can approach a member of the public and attempt to recruit them. This staggered me at first. I found this guy working on the street and approached him about joining my team, only for him to send me on a mission to find his captured brother. Once I completed it, he decided to form part of my crew, and I was able to play as him. Each character has unique abilities, of course, and this entices you to mix it up sometimes and use the different options available to you. It's truly special when you hop into the game to not know what you'll end up doing and with which character, ensuring that replayability is encouraged, even after you finish Watch Dogs Legion's 40-hour campaign. This is fantastic for gameplay, but the choice means that Legion's narrative suffers greatly as a result. Not that Legion has any sort of interesting story to begin with. The premise is that your hacker group, known as DeadSec, have been framed for planned terrorist attacks on the streets of London. In response to these attacks, the government hired Albion, a security firm who are effectively acting as military police, enforcing the law with force and causing mass discontent among the population. It's a far-fetched plot, and one that minutes into your first mission will have lost your interest. Who are DeadSec? Why are they being framed? Why would the British government hire a security firm to enforce the law? I understand it's the future, but my suspension of disbelief was pushed too far only 20 minutes into the story. And because there is no set protagonist, you don't really care too much about who you play as. Sure, they each have their own personalities, but they are just vehicles to drive the plot and the different gameplay options. Any characters that are set are bland and stereotypical, with the AI known as Bagley being the exception.
Scraping data from optics, CTOS cameras, microphones, laptops. Say, do you reckon SRS uses this to watch people shag? Fucking hell, do they use it for anything but watching people shag?
The city of London itself is quite big and seemingly detailed. I'm playing this on the original Xbox One, but I've seen footage of it running on the new consoles, and it's seriously impressive, especially with ray tracing. I've had some frame rate drops, especially whilst driving, but again, old console. Ubisoft's vision of a futuristic London is fairly entertaining and believable, with self-driving cars, drones flying overhead, and holographic advertisements. You can get around the city by fast travelling or driving, which is very sensitive. You'll want to adjust this in the options, but once you do, it's quite fun to motor around the tight suburbs, each car feeling surprisingly unique to drive. Once you arrive at your mission, it generally plays out like this. Sneak into an area to do a thing, probably hack a console or rescue a fighter, and then escape and do it again in another location. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of fun options in terms of how you approach each mission, but the variety of mission types could be a lot better. The side options aren't too great either. Bare knuckle fighting, getting drunk, and football are just some of the activities you can partake in, but I honestly thought there would be a lot more to do here. Exploration is encouraged through collecting points, which can be used to upgrade gadgets and abilities for your character. It's nice that the game wants you to explore, but I also feel it would be good to reward players for doing other things too. Most of the time, you'll be hacking and takedowning your way to your objective, but occasionally, or in my case, frequently, you'll get caught and have to use brute force. There's a simple fighting mechanic which is passable utilising 3 simple options, and the shooting mechanics are similarly basic. I find it terribly annoying that there's no option to shoot your gun with less accuracy whilst in cover. You'll have to pop out, kill an enemy, and then hop back into cover to repeat, and it results in uninspired and boring combat encounters. You're better off taking your time and staying away from any potential heat. Watch Dogs Legion is quite an average game. For every time it pulls a positive card such as its open world, level design or character abilities, it equally slips you a negative card such as its story, repetitive missions or shooting mechanics. Admittedly, the play as anyone feature is flawed but brilliant, and it's the only thing that holds up this title. The replayability and variety of possible paths you can take in a given playthrough is great. Whether or not you'll want to replay the game after completing it is up to you. As ever, if there are any upcoming games you'd also like me to review, please let me know.